Hello and welcome to your 10-minute Raider Report. I'm Army Sergeant Craig Raider. Today we'll take a look at how the 4th Stryker Brigade Combat Team, 2nd Infantry Division from Fort Lewis, Washington, is getting ready for their upcoming deployment. We'll take you around the Joint Readiness Training Center here at Fort Polk, Louisiana, to see how these soldiers are preparing to take their training to the objective. We start off at Fob Forge, where Sergeant Randall Pike introduces us to a group of soldiers from Bravo Company of the 1st Battalion, 38th Infantry Regiment.
From what I understand, that this is what we'll be doing 90% of the time, is all clearing buildings, raids. We need to know this stuff like muscle memory, like we do in our sleep.
Before these soldiers can even think of sleep, they have to train for military operations on urbanized terrain, or MOUNT, here at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana. The training is difficult, but these soldiers are quick to learn.
They're doing real well. There are no breaks. I mean, you have breaks for cooling off and everything, but during training, you got to keep up the pace and keep up the momentum all the time.
And while keeping up the pace is what Sergeant Jan aims for, Louisiana's summer sun can sometimes make that difficult.
The heat. Not used to the heat. We're down here from Washington State, so this isn't quite what we're used to, but yeah, keeping hydrated, keeping everybody healthy, and just having a good time out here as much as we can.
Sergeant Jan also says that the training NCOs demonstrating the right and wrong ways to clear these buildings have given the soldiers a clear example to follow when they deploy. And what is the right way?
You got to be fluid and you got to keep moving. Once you got momentum, don't lose it. And just maintain your 5 principles. You maintain your 5 principles and you keep your momentum, you'll never go wrong.
The training, and most of these soldiers, are new, so not everything goes perfectly. But Sergeant Haney is extremely pleased with how well and how quickly the soldiers understand what they're taught.
Oh yeah, they're doing extremely well. I've worked with a lot of soldiers, and these guys are definitely the best I've worked with yet. I don't know. They're doing really good. We've got a great NCO corps, so a lot of good knowledge around here that's being passed around.
Knowledge these soldiers will utilize on the battlefield. Reporting for the 22nd MPAD, Sergeant Randall Pike, the Joint Readiness Training Center, Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Next up, Specialist Gabriel Tolliver takes us to a class teaching non-lethal tactics which save lives for soldiers on the battlefield.
Members of the 4-2 Stryker Brigade got an in-depth course in point-of-capture operations at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Close to point of capture. Why is that important?
Sergeant First Class Jamie Lee Outland Brown taught the detainee operations course, outlining new status of forces agreements in a deployed environment.
Today I am teaching detainee operations at the point of capture. My primary focus here for this class is to reflect current detention criteria for the theater in which you'll be operating in, as well as emphasizing the importance on how to properly treat the detainees once they're in coalition custody. We also go over in length on how to ensure we execute and properly fill out the paperwork to ensure prosecution of the detainee in the court system.
What is searching in front of the public? How does that affect us?
The course included demonstrations of proper arrest procedure and review handouts for soldiers. The soldiers came away from the course better equipped and informed to do their missions.
It's a pretty good class, really taught in depth, well, not so much in depth, but in a classroom environment, why it's important to make sure the detainee operations go smoothly and how it affects our mission, how it affects the civilian population, and the overall end state for when we conduct operations overseas.
Excellent call. Everybody know about this. Often this is missed. Why do we do this?
From the Joint Readiness Training Center, Specialist Gabriel Tolliver, 22nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment.
Next we head to Fob Anvil, where a group of soldiers are putting their video game skills to the test as they learn to control an IED defeating robot. Specialist Justin Green has the story.
Soldiers at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana are learning to use the MarkBot, the multifunctional, agile, remote-controlled robot. For more than 5 years, soldiers in Iraq have used the MarkBot to find improvised explosive devices. At Jrtc, soldiers are finding the robot surprisingly easy to use.
They have Xbox controllers attached to them, which makes it a lot easier for us, because we obviously play a lot of Xbox, so we're used to that.
At the end of the MarkBot's arm is a camera which can take photos or video. An on-screen display allows soldiers to see what the camera sees, more than 3 football fields away. Harold Cummings, retired Master Sergeant and Robotics Systems Joint Project Office Trainer, says the MarkBot is a priceless asset.
This saves lives. That's what this whole system is about. This system is, I think, is a wonderful tool for soldiers.
A tool with a job as important as that of the soldiers who control it. Specialist Justin Green, 22nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment, Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Another weapon in the Army's arsenal is the tank-busting tow missile. I joined soldiers from Fox Company, 52nd Infantry Regiment near Fobbs Sword as they tested the range of their warfighting capabilities. During their rotation at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana, Fox Company of the 52nd Infantry Regiment, 4th Stryker Brigade Combat Team from Fort Lewis, Washington, spent one morning at a TOW firing range. The TOW, or tube-launched optically tracked wire-guided missile, allows soldiers to destroy targets from more than a mile away.
Once they have that target acquired and shoot that laser rangefinder at it, make sure it's a good target to fire at, not too close and at a good distance, and make sure it's an enemy target and they get clearance from higher up, then they just go through the firing process, fire the missile, and the gunner guides it onto the target.
UAV reports enemy armor at long distance in your sector. Engage your report.
Roger.
The training at JRTC is designed to prepare these troops for real-world combat, both mentally and physically.
It's good getting our bodies used to the heat. Helps us as a platoon get more cohesive and as a company overall.
Today's range also teaches important skills that, if called for, will put the soldiers of Fierce Company to the ultimate test.
The only true way to test your training to see if it's valuable and to see if you're on track is to actually shoot in country.
Army Sergeant. Finally, we join Private Mitchell Fosman as he takes us for a ride on the workhorse of the 4th Brigade, the Stryker, with the soldiers of Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment.
1st Platoon Wolfpack from Charlie Company, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment braved the hot sun of the Joint Readiness Training Center, or JRTC, today to train on infantry tactics. The platoon went over routine react-to-contact training, which helps make sure soldiers can quickly identify and take control when facing an enemy attack.
Well, you know, you really do get a sense of pride just walking on the fob. You know, you can tell who got out and got after it, you know, today or that day, and who didn't. You know what I mean? I mean, you do have a sense of accomplishment knowing that you got out and you trained your heart out, you sweated all day. You know, it makes it worth it. You know, when you lay down at night, you know that you accomplished something.
The training covered Battle Drill 1 and 1 Alpha, which teaches a platoon-sized element how to engage the enemy. The platoon ventured into the woods where 3rd Platoon, acting as the opposing force, ambushed them. 1st Platoon not only learned how to react to enemy contact, but also how to perform guard duties as well.
Today we're going over vehicle searches, checking for possible V-bids. We got a lot of new guys. We're getting familiarized with everything, all the possibilities, and checking over vehicles, running through the steps, and making sure that we're well trained for the future.
The exercise took place outside of the mock city of Sadiq in the Salih district of the JRTC training area. Private Mitchell Fossman, 4th Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, Public Affairs Office, Fort Polk, Louisiana.
That's it for this edition of the Raider Report from the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana. For the 22nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment, I'm Army Sergeant Craig Raider.